This is so cool that we
Brendan,
connected
that's
on
me.
TikTok. That's so funny because I knew you, way before TikTok.
You popped up on my feed, and that you were giving some advice on the industry, and I was like, this is pretty cool. And I just like, I think I followed like 10 people at this point, and I was like, I'll follow. And then, yeah, I just was keeping up. So it's cool that we connected from that.
Wow, that's so cool. Yeah, it's funny because I'm sure you probably saw me at our beginning when I was I work in the music industry, grad school at Berkeley. Like I definitely have formal training, but I've since transitioned to meet the TikTok world. So I'm like interviewing drunk college kids about Taylor Swift now. And like, you gotta change it up a little bit so the numbers can increase.
No, I totally hear that.
It seems though, like, just going through your stuff, you might not subscribe to all the social media business. Like you seem very much so yourself. And it's not like you're forcing anything. So what's your thoughts on social media, especially where you're a producer, you're not like, you're not trying to be the star of the show all the time.
Yeah. And that's a good way to put it. I recognize social media's ability to, really bolster a career and such. For me personally, it's tough sometimes for me to integrate my day-to-day life into social media the way I see some other people able to do it so fluidly.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a challenge sometimes. I'm a very mindful person. I'm not comparing. I'm not, always trying to see what's up with everyone else. I'm just kind of in my own world. So it has been something that I've had to, sort of navigate in my career, is how to use social media better for me while still being genuine,
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. I saw, you posted the books that you read for 2020. Atomic Habits was on there, which I've talked about on this show before. That was definitely a big book for me. And I feel like that kind of translated into social media as well. Like, making yourself better so that the version of yourself that you put online is, who you are, but also like the best version of yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I see some people doing it so well where I'm just like, I can tell this is so authentic, the way that you're portraying yourself online. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of get like, I'm like, damn, like I wish I could do it that well. But the truth is, it's just, you got to do what's natural and feels good to you, you know?
Sure. And even sometimes like I'll do something that is very much so natural to me. I saw also that you posted like your routine of like meditating and stretching and like sun salutations. Like I do that shit too, but I get scared to post that part of me on Instagram because it's so uncommon. But I thought that was cool that you shared that that's part of your routine. Do you do that every day?
Every day. Well, actually right now I have a fractured foot.
Oh no.
So my routine's kind of like, from the things I did in that video, it's kind of like cut in half for like the things I'm able to do.
Yeah.
But for everything, like I was doing that routine for a year or two. And I'm going to get back to it right when I'm out of this boot.
It honestly is super powerful. I was in like the same mode, doing it every day. Then COVID came, and I think I kind of used that as an excuse to get out of it at first. But then now that I'm back into it, you realize like how powerful that morning mindful, like whatever you call it, routine can be.
It comes in waves too. Like I'm at the point now where I've done it for so long, my routine, that it's become so integrated that it's not hard to do it.
Yeah.
But some days it's easier than others. I don't look at my phone, besides today, which is release day, which
Big
is
day.
tougher. But I try not to look at my phone for the first 2 or 3 hours that I'm awake. Just to be, like I'm working on music, I'm doing my routines. And then when I have to answer emails and, get online, I'll do that later on in the morning.
That is honestly super powerful. I gotta start making it more of a priority. I think especially too, because a lot of your work, I'm sure, stems from your cell phone. So to be able to put that aside for like two hours is powerful. Good for you.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's easier than others, but you always thank yourself. If you get into a routine where you're not on your phone for the first few hours of the day, and then one day you slip up and you get on your phone and you pay attention to yourself throughout the day, you'll notice, wow, I am far more reactive today. And like, I'm far more, or I'm far less mindful today. And it's really true. Yeah.
Dope.
Very true.
Honestly, great words to live by. We'll definitely be implementing those a little bit more. That being said, thank you for calling in on what is such an exciting day. Your second single since your 2018 EP, Universe from Here. Overload, Ollie, Felly just dropped. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I always get the jitters right before the release, and then the jitters turn to excitement right when it comes out.
So walk me through the jitters. Why are we nervous people aren't going to like it? Are we nervous like in terms of streams?
There's a saying that I kind of live by, that a song, when you don't release a song, it belongs to you. But the second you release it, it belongs to everyone else. It no longer is yours. And I think it's that handoff of, get this off my hands. And like, I don't know how it's going to be treated in the world. I don't know how it's going to be perceived. I don't know any of that, but it's no longer mine. It's something that when you sit with the song for a while, it's a little tough to be okay with. But then right when it happens and you see people catching it with open arms, you're just like, like another day. Like it's looking good.
Yeah. No, I mean, I could have told you that this song was going to be looking good upon release, because honestly, it's such a great track. Thank you so much. Of course, I have a group chat with some friends that it's literally, if you scroll, it's just Spotify links and like a comment. And I sent Overload, and they were like, "Shut up! What is this? I can't believe that." And I was like, "Just came out today. Like, go save it." So it got a very, very happy reception from that.
Whoa, that's really cool to hear. I love Overload. Sometimes I sit with a song for so long, and I'm just, by the time it comes out, I'm just like, of course I love this song, but I'm not like bumping it personally.
Yeah.
Overload, I am personally bumping like by myself still. And it feels so good to release it while you're still in that state.
I think part of the reason that I liked it so much, just for like my personal music taste, I think like the production of it, obviously like great vibes. And then in terms of the lyrics, like if you want to pay attention to them and you want to be like, oh, wait a minute, like he's talking real shit right now, like life, it do be an overload. I think that's like my favorite thing that you can capture in a song. So that's definitely why I gravitated towards it.
That's all. Yeah. Ollie and Felly just, did their things for sure. No one really comes soft when it comes to stuff that I'm working on, at least that I've noticed. Like, there's so many times where I'll have a song for a year or 2, 3 years even, and then I'll hear a line that someone said on the song differently. And I'm like, whoa. And then I'll hit them up like, did you really mean this when you said this? And they're like, yeah, I did. And I'm like, that went right over my head. But now I understand like the brilliance of that line. Yeah. And I love realizing that in my own music.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And, obviously you've been busy like recording or producing rather for so many other artists. Why is now the time to start producing music again under the YOG moniker?
That's a good question. I mean, some of these songs that are going to be on my next EP come from right after the last EP. And I make so many songs with artists, and sometimes the song feels really authentic to something that in my life, and to them, they might be like, there's like a few songs on the EP where the artists love the songs, but they're like, I personally wouldn't release this on my own thing because it just doesn't fit my sound right now. But for me, I'm like, oh my God, like this song needs to be heard by everyone. So I've been kind of putting together this EP. I realized I had something about a year ago, maybe, like when I seriously was like, okay, let me start compiling and finishing and doing everything I need to do. That was about a year ago. And then one of the biggest things about releasing songs as a producer is the featured artists getting like the business right and getting like it okay with everyone's timelines and such. It's really like, it's a lot. It's a ton to navigate everyone else's, release schedules and such. So it takes a lot of time to get these songs out. But now I have 6 songs that I'm like, I absolutely adore these songs, and I'm just starting to release them one by one. And then I'll probably drop the whole EP at the top of next year at some point. But it just feels like the right time, and I have the right song. So I'm not questioning it,
That's awesome. No, I didn't know if it was, something more like tangible, like if it was like you had to meet a certain deadline, but it's cool that you just kind of felt right with what you had. What?
Yeah. And there's been like, people have asked me in the last few years, like, hey, where's the next thing? And I'm just kind of like, I'm producing for artists. I'm writing with artists. It just doesn't feel right now. I don't have the songs, and I'm not going to give you like a 50-50 project. It's just like, it's something that I wouldn't do.
Yeah.
So I was just, I wanted to wait till I really had the songs. And actually it's funny because Overload, in terms of the beginning of the creation of songs, I think Overload might have been the last song that got started on the project. Everything else got started before it, but when I made Overload, I was like, a year ago, I think it happened exactly. Maybe like a little after that, I was like, I got it. Like, this is the last song I needed for me to really feel secure with this project.
So you had mentioned the kind of timelines, obviously going beyond just the actual producing of the song, but getting it right. When you finish a song, what's like the timeline of actually coordinating? Or do you have to coordinate before you finish the song?
Well, I always make sure that the artist doesn't want to use it first, because if they want to use it, they get priority. And
Gotcha.
I don't try to stand in front of that, because I would never be the person like, no. Like, this is mine. Like, that just doesn't feel right to me. So I always make sure first that they're not using it. And then after that, it's pretty much like, sometimes like there's one song I started at early 2019 and I was just waiting for the right verse. I was waiting for the right, maybe the end of 2018 I started. I was waiting for the right verse. The production felt like 80% there for a few years, but I just couldn't get it. Like, I maybe sat down like 10, 15 times and was like, okay, today I'm going to get it. And then I didn't get it. And then finally one day, about 2 months ago, I got it, and I got the verse, and I was like, that's it. So it all depends on different elements, different names on the song and all of that.
I feel like not getting it is kind of getting it in a way, like, because you know what you want. You might not know exactly what you want, but you know it's not that. So I feel like, even though nothing might come out of that session, I feel like it does further advance like what you might actually be looking for. It might unlock some things in the future.
Oh, it absolutely does. And honestly, to me, when it doesn't feel right, I don't try to force it. I just step back, because I'm like, I want the story to be there. I don't want anything to sound forced. And when it's out, I want to feel comfortable with it.
Yeah.
So like on this particular song, when I got that last element, it was actually an acoustic guitar that my friend did. I played him the song and he was like, what do you think about this? And he just did it. And it was like that. And I will never forget the moment that I was like, this song is done. Like, once you lay that, it's over. And it was exactly that.
That's so cool. I mean, speaking of releasing for others, your tracks with All Day and then Dubs and Quinn XCII went gold recently. Congratulations. These are your first certifications, right?
Yeah, these are my first certifications. Yeah. I'm super excited about it. Appreciate that.
Was this like a bucket list thing for you, or are you kind of like, it's great, but it doesn't really change much?
Both, because I definitely wanted certifications and plaques. As like a kid, when you start to realize like those are the accolades that come with the profession, of course you're like, that's what I want. But having received other things in the past few years, and then realizing that, oh, my day-to-day is still the same. Like, pretty much everything is still the same in my mental, my life, everything. Then you start to, there's less value in, it's something huge in the future. And you start to just like appreciate that you're able to make music every day and just be like, wow, like, all right, that's another thing. Amazing. Maybe even have a dinner over it and then be like, let's get back. Like, this is the life we live.
Yeah, no, and I like that you said like have a dinner about it. You can still celebrate it without it, being the say all be all. Like, but it is true. Yeah. I think there's so much difference between an industry recognition and certification is actually like a milestone that you met versus maybe like a different type of like award or having gone viral or something. It seems like not that you don't earn going viral, but this is very much so something that you earned, which is very cool to congratulate yourself about.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And it took a while for me to like, as you said, like have the dinner. It took a while for me to do that, because I think I used to be more frantic about stuff. Like when I would land like a big placement or something, I'd be like, all right, now I got to make 20 more beats in the next few days.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to be like, if I don't celebrate these own little things, then it's just going to blow by, and then everything's going to blow by. And I don't want to do that. So I do have those dinners now.
Hell yeah. I mean, that, and even like release day, I feel like that's a fun thing that you want to celebrate. Just anything, any little victories that you can, because at the end of the day, this ain't an easy profession, whether you're a producer, singer, or the business people behind it. So you might as well have some fun along the way.
Exactly. And the little accolades and the leveling ups are less, they're less in your face than if you just worked a kind of like a normal 9 to 5. It's like you get a promotion and that's cut and clear. You get a bonus that's cut and clear. Like, but with music and like, and probably a lot of other professions, you got to seek it out more and like really be like, okay, we're celebrating this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. We talk about this a lot too on the show. Is like validation. She's nice. We love validation. Like it's so, I don't even know, trendy, I guess, now to like discredit yourself and to not be confident, but definitely like it's nice to be validated and to be reassured that what you're doing is the right thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, that's so true. I like that.
I do want to talk about a quote that you said. Honestly, I dug deep when I was researching, as I always do. I'm talking
that's all
like
good. Yeah.
Detroit Jewish news from 2014. Dug deep.
Oh no!
We found videos of you asking a girl to prom. Like, we won't bring them up, but just know that we dug deep.
That's crazy.
I promise this quote is actually a good one. In fact, it's a great one. Like, this is tattoo worthy. This is what you said. You said, I don't want to be that guy on stage. I want to be the guy behind the scenes putting it all together. I don't even care about the credits. Just once you hear that sound, I want the gratification of you experiencing the music exactly the way I want. First of all, what a fucking dope quote. Yeah, you said that. You said that. I'll have to send you the link. It was from like 2016. Secondly, I think what I want to do is like ask you, does that still hold up? It's from our conversation so far. It seems like it does.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I still don't want to be the person front and center. It's just never been like the thing I've been aiming towards, like, you know, fame, all that. Like, I'm sure it's awesome, but it's just not. It's not something that I lust over, I think. Damn, I can't believe I said that. Dude, what year was that? I
didn't have the exact year written down, but if I remember correctly, I think it was an article from either 2015 or 2016.
Wow.
I will shoot you the link.
I need to start sharing quotes more because I write a lot. I don't share as much. So like that makes me want to share some more because I really... Even sometimes when I hear something that I said years back and I'm like, oh, that's definitely like a more immature me. I'm still like, but I still see the validate or like the value of that. And I understand it. And I'm glad I put it out there. That's really cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, kind of going off social media, I guess. But like when you do get to share content or whatever for your job, it is cool to look back on it and be like, oh my God, I was either such like a douche or like, hey, I was onto something.
Yeah, exactly. But it definitely still holds true. Like I definitely stand by all that from what I heard. Yeah.
Well, speaking about being on stage, you don't play out, right?
No. And I would maybe I would be open to it. I don't have like the, you know, we'll see what happens kind of.
Yeah.
But I did tour. I opened for an artist I work with a lot named Healy. I toured with him on 7 dates in 2018. And it was a really cool experience. But I don't know. It's I live a pretty my lifestyle is I love my lifestyle. It's set in stone kind of. And if I was going to tour, it'd have to be a moment, you know?
Yeah. What is a live show? What would a live show look for you? Like, do you DJ? No.
Well, back then I kind of, it was a crazy story. So like I went to their show. I was in New York, doing sessions and stuff in 2018. Like, I lived in LA, but I was taking a trip to New York. And then, I was going to stay until his show in New York so I could see it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? I might as well go to Philly with them the next night. Cause we were kind of working on some stuff in the bus too. And then the next night, something happened with the opener. And then I just remember them asking like, hey, do you want to open? We're on the bus on the way to Philly. Hey, do you want to open for us on this next leg before Toby starts opening, who's another artist that we work with? And I just said, hell no. In the bus, I was like, no. I was like, hell no. And then we're all like, okay. And then we all put our headphones back on. And then like an hour later, I was like, hey, you know what? I'll do it. Because I like doing things that challenge you and you're scared of. Because I was definitely scared because I was like, I don't know what's going to happen, or like, I don't even know what touring looks like. But I started putting together a set on my computer where I did some of my songs. I did some unreleased songs, and then I did some songs I'm listening to. And I like I did the layout so I can kind of make new beats live over them.
Dope.
And, obviously some scratches and some stuff to get the crowd going. But I was kind of like, I had a keyboard up there in my computer, and I was just like making beats and like playing good music live.
Damn, talk about learning on the fly. That's crazy. I mean, that's such an opportunity too that you don't necessarily want to pass up. So I understand why you'd want to go through the pressure of learning on the fly. Did the audience respond? Did we have a good moments?
I had good moments. Like I would say like out of the 7 shows, 4 of them rocked and 3 of them were learning experiences. The first night, it was crazy. The first night I think was in DC, and I didn't have a keyboard. And I was like, yo, I need a keyboard. Like, I'm not just going to be there with a laptop. So someone went to get a keyboard from Guitar Center, and they gave it to me 10 minutes before my set started. So I had to configure this keyboard like on stage while everyone was there. And I remember looking at this, like, I don't remember how many, it was a big keyboard. And I knew, okay, I can click these 5 keys because I know what they do. And then I'll figure everything else out the next night. So it was the middle of the set. I was doing good. Everything was kind of timed up. I was definitely nervous, but I guess I was doing fine. And then I clicked one key that wasn't in those like 5, and it just went dead silent in the middle of, and I was just like, and I remember hearing people there was maybe like 200 people there. I heard people kind of talking and well, what's going on? And I was sweating, and it took it probably took like 15 seconds to get it going again, but it felt like an hour.
15 seconds in live time is like 2 hours in whatever world is in your mind.
Oh my God. But I remember after my set, I felt really good that I pulled it together and I didn't freak out when that happened. And I was just like, you know what? Like, no one's going to remember that. Healy killed it. It was a great show. We're good. So yeah, learning experience.
Honestly, wow, though, what a great way to handle that, because that is so true. Like, it might seem like the end of the world, and for any like independent artist that's listening as well, it might feel like the end of the world, but like that stuff happens to everyone, and we've talked about so many stories like that. But good for you, because if that ever happened to me, I think I would just quit music immediately.
I wish I could like access my mind in those 15 seconds. I definitely was tripping out.
That being said, all right, so no live sets particularly in the future, correct?
We'll see what happens, but nothing planned right now.
And going off that, we got a new EP coming soon. What more can you tell us?
Yep. It's 6 songs. It should be releasing top of next year.
Cool.
And it's a lot of artists. It's over 10 artists.
Wow.
So it's way, in terms of how many people are on it and how many songs, it's way more material than the last EP.
Dope. All right, well, I'm super excited for it. I do have some other like random ass questions that I think we should just ask you, because I feel like anyone that's familiar with you would really love to know them. So consider this a game, if you will.
Absolutely.
What is your most played song that you produced?
It's probably a song called "Always Been You" by Quinn XCII.
I think that's my most played. Our producer's shaking his head too. We love that song so much.
But the thing is, like, I'm only going by Spotify stats because I don't even know how to see a lot of others.
Yeah.
I believe it has like 70 something million. So I think that's it. Okay.
One, love that. Second of all, so sorry. I meant like that you listen to the most.
Oh, I would say, oh man, that's a tough one. Like right now or forever?
Let's go now.
I'm listening a lot to the intro off Meek Mill's new album.
Dope. Okay.
Yeah, it just is like energy.
And what here's another, we're gonna add like a little time effect to this one. What do you think your most underrated track that you produced is?
Ooh. Oh wait, yeah. Let me think for a second.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. Shit, man. Damn. I honestly, I don't know. Like, I would have to look.
All right, you know what? That's okay. I feel like that means you're happy with the rating, if you will, or the achievements of all of them.
I think so. I mean, one song that comes to mind right off top. I was just speaking of Healy. Is Nike's On by Healy.
Such a great track too.
Which that song, just like the way it was made, and like we made that in I think 2017, and it didn't come out till like 2020. And that whole time we were kind of like, this is the one. Like this is the next one for sure. And I've never been so sure about something. Like I've never been so sure about a song that I was like, oh, because most of the time you can guess like I think the song's gonna go, and then maybe it doesn't, or you could be like, yeah, I don't know if this is it, and it'll go crazy. But like with that song, we're all like, yo, this is it, and it definitely did really well. But I think there's still a whole nother life in it, so I think that would be my answer.
That's I honestly do agree with you. I feel like there is a whole another life in it, because I feel like that was my first exposure to Healy, and then I've seen that everywhere, and so much so that I'm like, I know that this track hasn't fallen off yet. If anything, I don't even think it's been in all of the ears, like that it's reached its like maximum amount of exposure yet. So I don't know if it's going to be like a TikTok thing or something, but I definitely feel like that moment's coming.
Absolutely. I think the song was kind of like, it's kind of ahead of its time in that I didn't even, when we made it, I knew something special was there, but I didn't even understand it. I wasn't making anything else that sounded like that, like exactly that. And I feel like still when you click play on it, there's just there's parts of it that I don't hear in other music. So I think that I even, if that song takes 5-10 years to have that other life, I really think it will. So that is my answer.
Awesome. Honestly, that was such a great answer. That was cool to hear a little bit insight on that. We wrap up all of our interviews with this final question. Where do you hope to see yourself in 1 year's time?
1 year's time. I hope that I could just like, I love what I'm doing in my life and everything around me, and that I'm able to, make a living off of this and such. I hope that I have that same steady head on, which I know I will, and just keep elevating, because I don't think we're not there yet. We just want to keep going up for as long as I can think about. So keeping the same mindset and the same gratefulness that I have every day, while also just being so ambitious like I am and wanting to keep moving up all the time.
Beautiful. Honestly, we'll have to add that one to the quote book too.
Yeah, exactly. You got to send me that quote. I can't believe I said that long ago.
Yeah, no, I saw that and I was like, wow, this man not only is a producer, he's a poet. But YOG Money, thank you so much for calling in, and congratulations on the release of Overload. That is so cool, that you're finally back to releasing music under YOG Money. I know that it's probably a crazy time for you, so thank you for taking the time to chat with us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on here.
All right. Peace out, man. Go have a great day.
All right.
Congrats.
Peace out, man. Have a good one. All right. Thank you.